This is Fluffy Tail. Now, shortly after she was created, she was captured and brought to this mysterious island. This island is called Anagoge. It is also where many adventurers find themselves starting in Project Gorgon. Now, Fluffy Tail started exploring. She started to use a sword, even using her fists just to find her way around, and she found it a little lacking. Still, she continued to press forward to find her way off. She soon discovered she could actually earn XP from dying, so she tried to die as many different ways to see if that would help. Shortly after, she discovered a home that was inhabited by another person that was stuck on this island. This man was depressed, and if he was helped, then she would be allowed to use his book. She would press on and soon discover others that needed help with something or would help her get off the island in some way. She would soon discover a tower, and inside was a man that was willing to teach her teleportation. Could this be the key to get off the island? He also owned a book that would allow her to create a pick-me-up juice. Perhaps this could be used with a man who is depressed. She would continue to explore the isle, only to discover dinosaurs of all things. A little while later, she finally collected all the items she needed to create the pick-me-up juice and would return to the man to see what her reward was. She would soon discover the skill that she gained was actually psychology, which allowed her to berate the enemies with words and kill them. She now decided this was the skill set she would use until she found her true calling. Shortly after, she returned to the man with the amethyst in hand and was taught teleportation, where she then had to bind to a circle and then return. She would go on to try using a bow. Perhaps this was her calling, but still it did not feel right in her hand. She was dissatisfied with the bow and returned to her former skill set and continued to explore the isle. Through hard work and dedication, she hit level 10 in both of her skills, ready to tackle the world. She decided to face the fiercest foe on the isle, Gajus the big-headed, who would curse her to have a big head, which would not allow her to wear a helmet. And if she passed this trial, she would finally leave the isle so that she could find her true calling. Victory was now hers, and now she had a little notoriety under her belt, and she was ready to leave. Having already visited all the monoliths around the isle, she had the correct combination so that she could bind to the correct teleportation platform that was off the island. Thanks to the help of El Mataf, she could finally leave the island and explore the world. She arrived at the new destination, an area called Serval. She quickly gathered the quests and went for the nearest keep. She had to fight many animals on the way, but the sickly wolf in particular. She liked how he fought, despite his weakness. Perhaps she could find a way to become an animal just like him. She pressed on, getting closer to the keep so that she may find some help in this world. She was amazed by the vibrancy of the city, how alive it was, and all the people. She quickly went to go find someone that she could speak with, finding Rita first and foremost. Rita wanted help finding out how another person did her hair, and after that we would see what she would award us. While it was not immediately clear how she did her hair, she was willing to spill the beans upon just asking. Fluffytail would then go on to make a quick pit stop to sell off the gear that she would no longer be using. Upon returning to Rita, she would then get quite strange, but in return, she would introduce us to her friend, Harry the Wolf. Perhaps Harry was the key to achieving what Fluffytail has always wanted. Finally, Fluffytail has found her purpose. She wanted to be a werewolf, just like Harry, and Harry could make it happen, but first, he wanted to see that she was strong enough. This battle was now life or death. Could Fluffytail prove that she was strong enough to become a werewolf? The answer is no. She sadly perished during this fight. But death is not the end for Fluffytail. Fluffytail is able to come back, and so she prepared. She learned that she could meditate and use combos with her unarmed skills, which would allow her to kill the wolves much easier. She returned, and this time utilizing the combos and slowly luring each one out from the pack. The fight was much easier. With victory now in her hand, she recalled back so that she could return to Harry and claim her reward. This is not a decision to take lightly. This would be a permanent change that would forever alter this character with no cure. Fluffytail did not have to think even twice. She was willing to accept whatever consequences there were being a werewolf, because that was her dream. Being a werewolf is not recommended for new players, as it can make the game just slightly more difficult. Many people do not want to talk to you. You'll be stuck as a werewolf for 3 days every month whenever there's a full moon. It becomes very difficult to manage your character because of this. And if you don't level your werewolf, or any skills that your werewolf can use, you become utterly useless. Otherwise, it's not really that bad. The game has a lot of small annoyances. Like if you were a necromancer, you'd have to keep your skeletons away from people if you want to talk to them, otherwise they wouldn't want to. Hell, even if you were just dirty, you would have to go clean your character by sitting in water. So all in all, it's not the worst thing, but many of the other animal forms have ways to just disguise themselves so they can talk to other humans. Fluffytail is having a little bit of trouble, as many people do not wish to talk to her now. Some people even bribe her or want her to do something before she can use their services again. It's an unfortunate situation. Luckily, she has a skill that allows her to turn back into a human, but there appears to be a caveat to that, as it doesn't always work unless she goes out and eats or kills. Fluffytail does not regret any of her decisions, but we will have to wait till next time to see what further adventure she gets into as a werewolf. I hope you enjoyed this video about my character that I wanted to be a werewolf, as being a werewolf is a permanent change, and I've rarely seen very many consequences in video games that interested me. I would never do this on my main character, I'm relatively new to the game, and I don't know a lot about the game, so I hope you enjoyed this journey and the future videos I make with this character, as I really enjoyed this game and wanted to show it off in some way. Big shout out to the royalty-free music that I got, which I will put up some text so that you can see who made it. But thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you.